Greetings. What's going on? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are feeling well. Today I wanted to talk about the ancient Egyptian god by the name of Khepra or Khepr or Khepri. There's different ways of saying it, but Khepra is a scarab beetle, sometimes is depicted with a human body and a scarab beetle for a head. But the Khepra is a scarab beetle that symbolizes the rising of the sun. So, very much associated with the early mornings, the sunrise. And Khepra is a great example of resilience and rising to the occasion. And the reason why Khepra represents that is because of the dung beetle that is used to symbolize Khepra. The dung beetle itself is a perfect example of what it means to be resilient and rise to the occasion. Let's take a look at the dung beetle itself and why the ancient Egyptians chose that insect, this living creature, as a symbol of something very powerful. So the dung beetle is typically found in a desert-like environment. And the dung beetle, one of its characteristics is that when it's giving, when the dung beetle is giving birth, one of the things that it does is it finds a fecal matter, typically that comes from a larger animal, and what they do is they uh they implant their eggs inside of this dung, and the dung or the fecal matter is used as a fertilizer. And that's even still that's something that farmers do, which is amazing that how an insect does the same thing that humans do when they're farming something. In this case, this is a insect that is trying to make sure that their youngins have a opportunity to be born, to grow. So once the beetle puts its eggs inside of this fecal matter, what it does, the beetle, it rolls this dung, it rolls this fecal matter, which is they laid their eggs in, into a ball, into a perfect round ball. And what they do is they find the highest point somewhere. They roll it up a hill or a sand hill, and they roll this dong beetle to the highest point so the eggs are protected. And they roll it to a high point where then they could bury this ball into the ground so then the eggs can eventually hatch and their youngs can grow, can thrive. What's interesting about this dong beetle is that the way they roll this dong up the hill, they roll it backwards. So they're not facing the dong, they're actually facing away from it, and they're moving it with their back legs. And they're moving this thing uphill. And so when it gets to the top of the hill, they bury it in the ground, and then of course over time it fertilizes the fertilizing of the dung. It goes into the earth, and then that allows now the dung beetle to be born safely and to be able to live. So this is a great life lesson in learning of resilience and also learning how to rise to the occasion no matter what. When we think of that vision of the dong beetle, um, it's planting its eggs inside of this fecal matter. It's a representation of how we are putting things out there, right? You could say putting things out there in the universe or praying on it, meditating on it, however you want to uh, use that, it's putting something out there into something that is a bit chaotic and unknown, but you know for certain putting it out there is gonna now eventually give birth to this manifestation, and whatever that thing that you put out there comes into fruition. And so you do whatever it takes to make sure this thing happens. And if it means battling uphill, going through the obstacles, and the symbol, the visualization of the beetle facing away from the ball as it's pushing it up, it's a representation of us not knowing what lies ahead. We're almost blinded, but we know for sure to we need to get to where we need to be. We're not sure, but we're pushing through. We're getting through these obstacles. And when we finally get to that mountaintop, when we finally get to that place and we're able to now ground ourselves more and really plant this seed, this manifestation, right? Really put this prayer and meditation to use and really start to work more on it, meaning we're taking on the actions to make sure this thing does happen. We take it upon ourselves. We hold ourselves accountable to make sure this thing does happen. Then later on, we see the rewards of this. We see this thing come into fruition. We see this manifestation happen. We see our prayers being answered. And it shows like how we were determined and resilient no matter what. We believed in this thing and it happened. And now look at it. It birthed itself and it's flourishing. Think of yourself, right? You're just, living in antiquity. You're living in this time. We're talking about pre-dynastic Egypt, right? So you're sitting there and you're looking at this beetle, determined, this tiny little creature determined to push this ball that's in a perfect shape up this hill. And you see this round thing, and behind it you see the sun. And this is early in the morning. The ancient Egyptians saw this and connected the dung beetle with the sun. That's why when you see the Khepra symbol, it's the beetle upholding the sun and elevating the sun into the sky. So the ancient Egyptians were present enough with themselves to see this and correlate to the energy that elevates the sun in the morning, because the sun is very important. As the sun rises each day, when the sun shows up, life continues to happen. This was a revelation that the ancient Egyptians had when they looked at this beetle just simply trying to keep its family going, keep its legacy going by being so determined to push this dong up the hill. That's all for me. And I would love to say Unk Uja Sneb, life, prosperity, and health. And I leave you all with Hotep. Peace be unto you, and peace be unto self.